Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of Beauty Basics for Filipinos with me, Karen. And during our first episode, we talked about our skin. So, we talked about how our skin works, what are the different skin types, tapos kung ano yung pinaka-basic na skincare routine to take good care of your skin. Now, mag-move on na tayo sa makeup application. We're focusing on the base makeup. So today's discussion is going to be about the following things: preparing our skin before makeup application, foundation, so ano bang purpose ng foundation, how do you pick the right formula, and the right shade. Last but not the least, concealers and correctors, anong difference nilang dalawa, paano sila gamitin, and kailangan nyo ba both or hindi. After the discussion, I'll also be showing you a demonstration of how I personally do my foundation routine. So, syempre, before tayo mag-apply ng kahit anong makeup products sa face natin, we need to make sure that our skin is clean. Konting recap muna tayo with our basic skincare routine. So, we cleanse, we tone, we moisturize or hydrate, and we apply sunscreen during the day. But I think I forgot to mention last episode na although itong 4 steps na to yung pinaka-basic, there are people na they don't really use all of these 4, and there are also other people na they add other skincare products in their routine. It's totally fine, it's totally up to you, but most importantly, you need to make sure na these skincare products are what your skin actually needs. So if you think okay na kayo with cleanser and sunscreen during the day, then that's totally fine. If you think during the night you need to add serums, emulsions, or eye creams, then go ahead if you think na kailangan niya talaga. So after nyong mag-skincare routine, syempre, fresh na yung skin natin, malinis na, we now go to the next step, which is applying a face primer. So primer is applied before any makeup product. It serves as a barrier between the skin and the makeup. So kumbaga hindi agad makeup yung in contact with your skin, and it also helps your makeup to last longer. Another benefit of using a primer is that it visually improves your skin, so it smoothens out those fine lines. Some primers also do have a pore minimizing effect, and meron ding iba na nakaka-help with the oil production. So just like picking your skincare products, you need to consider your skin type when picking out a face primer. Now let's move on to the main part, which is the foundation. So ang main purpose ng foundation is to even out your skin tone. So kung ang purpose ng foundation is para pantayin yung skin tone natin, syempre we need to use a foundation na sakto sa skin tone natin. Pero before we go to that part, yung pagpili ng tamang shade ng foundation, there are actually other things you need to consider before picking your foundation. Number 1, once again, skin type. So, sa dinami-dami ng products available in the market, syempre nakakalito na rin, ano ba yung okay na foundation for me? One of the main things you need to consider in order to minimize your choices is to consider your skin type. Syempre, nag-advance na ngayon yung mga makeup products, makeup companies, they formulate foundations for specific skin types. Another thing you need to consider is the coverage of your foundation. So, when we say coverage, this refers to the opacity of the makeup. So, may mga iba-ibang levels siya. We have the sheer, light, medium, and full coverage. So, for me as a makeup artist, I would normally recommend a sheer to light coverage foundation for those people na very flawless looking na yung skin. Wala silang masyadong imperfections or wala silang masyadong kailangang itago. And if may mga minor imperfections naman, then I would recommend using medium or full coverage type of foundation. but you also need to consider your personal preference. Kasi I've encountered people na although sobrang flawless looking na yung skin nila, they still prefer a full coverage foundation. And may iba naman, hindi naman ganun ka-perfect yung skin nila, but confident sila with how the way it looks, or hindi sila masyadong bothered dun sa mga imperfections ng face nila. So they just opt for a light to medium coverage type of foundation. So it's totally up to you. If you think you need a full coverage, go for a full coverage foundation. If you really want to go for a lighter one, then go ahead, go for a light coverage foundation. Again, it's totally up to your personal preference when it comes to coverage. Another factor you need to consider when picking your foundation is the finish. So, sa foundation, may mga iba-ibang kinds of finishes, pero let's just categorize it into two. So, merong on the matte finish, meron din on the glowy kind of finish, glowy or radiant finish. Technically, if you have oily skin, or basically you're on the oily to combination side, it's best to use a matte foundation kasi it's gonna help to regulate the oil production on your skin. Just make sure that the matte foundation you're picking is not too dry looking kasi may mga matte foundations na sobrang dry tignan sa skin. And syempre, ayaw naman natin ng ganun. So make sure that it's a comfortable kind of matte foundation. On the other hand, mas recommended naman for mga drier skin types yung mga medyo glowy or radiant looking foundations. Normally kasi yung mga foundations na ganito, may mga moisturizing ingredients din sa formulation nila. And yung pagka-glowy effect, parang daya siya for dry skin types kasi parang hide niya yung mga fine lines and dry patches sa skin because of that glowy effect. So let's say you already did your research, nakapili na kayo ng specific brand or specific foundation product na gusto ninyong bilhin. Now it's time for you to check or to pick the correct shade for your skin tone. So paano nga ba pumili ng tamang shade ng foundation for our skin? So what you need to do first is, the first step is to choose 2 to 3 shades of that particular foundation. You swatch these 3 shades from your jawline down to the neck. I-blend nyo sila on your skin and observe it for a few seconds. Kung ano yung color na totally nag-disappear sa skin ninyo, that's your foundation shade. Never choose a foundation shade by swatching it at the back of your hand. Kasi yung skin tone ng kamay ninyo versus yung skin tone sa face area ninyo, it's not totally the same. Another important thing you need to take note of when it comes to choosing the shade of your foundation is the undertone. So, kung yung skin tone natin is based on the color sa surface ng skin natin, undertone naman is based on the color beneath the surface of the skin. So, meron actually 4 different kinds of undertones, pero parang masyado na siyang advanced. I'll only be discussing 2, namely warm and cool undertone. So, if warm yung undertone ng foundation, it's leaning towards the color yellow. If cool naman yung undertone ng foundation, it's leaning towards the pink or gray color. Now, why is undertone very important for us Filipinos when choosing a foundation shade? Number 1, tayong mga Filipinos or mostly Asian people, we have yellow undertone. So in order for our foundation shade to look right on our skin, we need to make sure that it's the same exact tone of your skin and at the same time it has a yellow undertone or a warm undertone. Because if not, if you use a pink or gray tone foundation, it's most likely going to look ashy. So let's say after applying your foundation, meron pa rin mga certain discolorations or imperfections on your face na hindi na-cover ng foundation. Then it's probably time for you to use a corrector or a concealer. The concealers and correctors may look the same in terms of formulation and packaging, pero actually, magkaiba yung purpose nila. Concealers are products normally in liquid or cream form, and the main purpose of a concealer is to cover blemishes and other imperfections on your skin. On the other hand, correctors neutralizes discolorations. They don't specifically have any coverage, but the main purpose is to neutralize discoloration. So to make this very simple for you to understand, I'm just going to discuss an example, which is the dark under eye circles, which is very common for us Filipinos. So let's say yung level ng darkness sa under eye mo is parang shadow lang. So hindi naman ganun ka-severe. Normally, you can just use a concealer that has a good amount of coverage. If you're not wearing a foundation underneath, then you might want to use a concealer that's also slightly lighter than your skin tone para parang dual purpose siya. It's concealing and highlighting at the same time. However, if after using your concealer, you could still see the darkness peeking through, then it's probably time for you to use a corrector. Technically, correctors are meant to be used before applying foundation or concealer kasi iba nga yung color nila, hindi siya skin tone, kumbaga. So, may iba-ibang colors ng correctors available pero I'm just gonna discuss two kasi ito yung pinaka-common na ginagamit here in the Philippines. So, going back dun sa problema natin sa under eye, when it comes to dark discolorations on the under eye area or even yung mga dark spots, if you want to neutralize this kind of discoloration, you need to use a peach corrector. Peach is the most versatile color corrector among all skin types. But if you think na mas severe yung darkness, or for those people na medyo on the morena side of skin tone, if peach doesn't work for you or if it's too light for you, you can also opt for an orange corrector to correct your under eye and dark spots. Another kind of color corrector is the green corrector. Basically, green correctors neutralizes redness on our skin. So now I'm going to show you and discuss how to use a foundation, a corrector, and a concealer all together. So before anything else, you need to assess your skin first. Ano bang kailangan ng skin ninyo? May mga discolorations ba kayo sa face or wala? May mga gusto ba kayong i-cover na imperfections or wala? So in my case, I have really oily skin, so I need to make sure that I've prepped my skin very well with the right skincare products. Kasi ito yung makakatulong sa akin para ma-regulate yung oil production for long hours. And then, I applied some primer, concentrating it sa center ng face ko kasi dun ako most likely nagiging very oily. So after prepping my skin, I then moved on to applying correctors. So correctors yung pinakauna kong nilagay on my face after primer. I took a bit of my peach corrector and applied it on my under eye area. The one that I'm using is actually a light peach color. Hindi naman kasi ganun ka-dark yung under eye area ko. Kumbaga may konting shadow lang siya. Then, I applied some green corrector sa sides ng nose ko and sa center ng chin kasi may redness ako doon. I do have other imperfections going on sa forehead pero hindi ko na siya nilagyan ng kahit anong product kasi hindi naman ako ganun ka-bothered sa itsura niya. So after using my correctors, I then used a full coverage foundation to even out my skin tone and to provide coverage at the same time. So the technique is that when you apply foundation on the areas na merong corrector, make sure you're not swiping your brush kasi tendency is that maggugulo or gagalaw yung corrector na nilagay ninyo kanina. So after applying and blending the foundation, overall satisfied na ako sa coverage niya and neutralized na din yung correctors na in-apply ko kanina. You can totally stop here if you like, but I decided to add a small amount of concealer dun sa inner section ng under eye area ko kasi I don't know if super official on camera, but I have this line na gusto kong ma-diminish. Hindi siya discoloration, pero parang part siya kasi nung flesh nung nasa eye bags ko. So after applying all these cream products, it's important to set our base. Setting powders help your foundation or your base makeup to last longer throughout the day and also to prevent creasing or cracking. So may iba-iba din klase ng setting powders. We have the pressed type and the loose type. So normally, yung mga pressed powders, they come with a bit of coverage and color. So just like picking the right shade of foundation, same lang din yung process when it comes to picking the right tone for your pressed powder. Just make sure that it's the right skin tone and undertone. On the other hand, if you don't want na magbago yung color ng foundation nyo because of the pressed powder or basically ayaw nyo nang madagdagan ng coverage yung foundation na nilagay ninyo, you may want to opt for a translucent loose powder kasi itong powder na to, hindi siya nagbibigay ng kahit anong coverage. It's good for setting and also for retouching. We also have what we call the setting spray, which is optional for some people, but I personally think it's also a helpful product. So if you think masyadong powdery yung nagawa ng yung base makeup, setting spray actually helps to lessen that powdery look. And also, if you have really oily skin, setting spray helps prolong the life of your makeup like throughout the day. Kumbaga, may mga setting sprays kasi na setting spray lang siya and meron ding mga setting sprays na may oil control. So again, it depends kung ano yung kailangan ng skin ninyo. So that's it for today's episode of Beauty Basics for Filipinos. I hope marami kayong tutunan. So before we finally end, here are some reminders. Number 1, consider your skin type when choosing your base products to make sure na magwo-work talaga sila for your skin and para hindi rin masayang yung pera ninyo. Number 2, know your preference. You're not required to wear foundation every single day. Some people don't even wear foundation at all, and that's totally fine. So whether you prefer using a foundation or not, it's totally up to you. Kasi this video is just a guide lang naman, just in case you want to learn more about picking your foundation and how it works on your skin. Same with correctors. So if you think hindi naman kailangan ng skin ninyo, or if you think enough na yung coverage ng foundation or ng concealer ninyo to hide specific discolorations, then it's okay not to get any correctors at all. Last but not the least, ask for recommendations. Check out reviews online or articles about a specific product you're planning to buy. And wag kayong mahiya to consult the beauty consultant or makeup artist dun sa store na pagbibilhan ninyo. Kasi syempre, sila yung mas nakakaalam ng product nila. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, don't forget to leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell para updated kayo kung kailan ako mag-upload ng next episode ng Beauty Basics for Filipinos. Once again, this has been Karen, and I'll see you guys next time.